Oh, welcome to Pyrotechnics, brought to you in association with your number one music publication, Fireworks Rock and Metal magazine. Issue 103 is out now at WH Smith's, McCall's and other good news agents. Or you can visit our new website, www.fireworks-magazine.com. Don't forget the hyphen. I'm your host for this evening, Pete Arnett, and with me I have our editor and owner. Welcome, Bruce.
Hi, guys.
Now, you just heard his song, One of a Kind, from the new album, The Last Song. It's both an honour and a pleasure to be able to welcome from his home in the USA the man who's been entertaining us now for almost 3 decades. He has the golden locks to go with the golden voice. Please welcome our guest today, Mr. Mitch Malloy. Welcome, Mitch.
Hello, fellas. Good to be here.
Nice to have you, mate.
Yeah, man. I'm in England without leaving my chair. It's awesome.
Oh, we're in the USA. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? We're everywhere now, aren't we?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Right then, Mitch. Right, I want to kick off with, so the title, The Last Song. Is this something that we should be reading anything into, or are you just teasing us?
Let me think about that. How much time you got? No, you never know, right? I mean, it could be my last rock record, but it's like I feel it's funny because at this young stage, at this young age, I feel like I'm finally, I'm finally getting there. You know what I mean? Like it's like I'm able to do this by myself at a level where I think it's presentable, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't present it, right? So I'm like, God, now I have to do one of these like every year or something. You know what I mean? Like, so there's that kid in me doing that. Go, Mitch, go. And then there's the old man going, dude, this is your last record. You can't keep doing this. It's too much work. So you never know. I plan on shifting gears a little bit and do a more acoustic thing. And I think anybody who's been following me knows that I sort of do that. Yeah. I sort of, I do this thing and then I do that thing and then and that's been my career. And that's what I enjoy doing because I can do lots of different kinds of music. So why not do them, and I enjoy doing all those different things. So I was thinking maybe I would do a little bit more acoustic thing, next. But maybe I'll do that and another rock. I don't know. So is it the last song? So let me just explain to you the title, right? So I'm a very practical guy, right? So I wrote 8 songs and I finished them, and I thought, man, I almost have a record, done, and I'm really happy with it. I need 2 more songs. So the 9th song was One of a Kind, which is the video, which is the first single, not really a single, but it's the first release, we'll say, right? So I thought, wow, this is good. Yeah, I really like this. How did I do that? Right. So then I finished that and I thought, okay, that's done. Now I need one more song. So I'm like, playing my guitar and like I do, that's where the songs come from. I'm sitting right here. I mean, that's the thing. Like I did everything right here, right? In this chair. So I'm like, okay, I'm writing the song and I'm kind of digging, where it's going. And I'm like, this is going to be the last song. And I'm like, oh, no, that's a stupid title. You can't call it the last song. So then I'm writing and writing. And then I get to the chorus and I'm like, I kind of have like an idea of where the lyric is and it's all kind of formulating in here, and then I'm like, I'm living my life like it's the last song, then it's not a cheesy, horrible title. It has a meaning, right? So that's kind of where that came from. And I realized that if I called the record The Last Song, everyone would think I mean later, but, and so I thought, well, I'll just deal with that, I'll just answer the question like I just did, So
wow.
Yeah.
So basically, it's a case of wait and see then.
Well, yeah, you never know. I mean, yeah, let's see. It's like I say to people, people have to be interested in it. And, it's like, that brings up another thing. It's like, so I sit here and I make these records by myself, right? So that's pretty unusual, I think. And I'm really proud of that. But it really only matters if you like it, If it's crap, then I probably shouldn't be doing it, right? So that's like, it's a very subjective thing, this music stuff, right? You know, some people love it, some people hate it. That's just the way it goes. So the thing is, people have to like it and people have to purchase it for me to be able to continue to do it, right? So that's another part of it, right?
Yep.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So it's been 7 years, I believe, since your last solo album, and then this one.
This one.
There we go. So that's the one. Already prepared. Definitely got to go and buy them, people.
They're
You really do.
buddies. They're really good friends. These two. They love each other.
Indeed, indeed. Why did you decide now was the right time to add this latest one to your musical profile?
Well, I was really I did 4 years with my previous band, and I was just tired of doing that and being on the road and doing all that. And I thought I just really need to get back to what I do, because I had been, using my talents for somebody else's music, which I really enjoyed, to be honest. People would think, oh, well, he's doing this because he got tired of that and he couldn't do his music and da 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 da, all that. And none of that was ever a factor. I went into that situation knowing that I was in their band and doing their music, and I was fine with that. That was my job. And it was kind of nice, actually, in a way, just to be one piece of the puzzle for a change. Like, all I had to do was sing the songs and front the band. That was it. That was my only job. I had no other responsibilities, pretty much, right? And that was kind of nice, So I kind of could really concentrate on just doing that one job and getting good at it. And I think I got better at it as the years went. So it wasn't like that. It wasn't like, but it was, I do miss doing my own music. It was never like I missed it because of them. It wasn't because of them. I took that job full knowing what the job was. So yeah, it wasn't like that. There's no like weirdness about that. But I did really enjoy writing my own songs and making my own record again. I mean, I really did. It was a blast. I mean, the Making Noise record was also a blast, but it was fast, right? I had a tour coming up and like I needed a record, and I did this thing quick. This one, I was able to take my time and really sit with it, go away from a song, work on another song, go back to the other song. Do I still like that? I think the bass needs to be different. I think this needs to be different. I mean, even the last song, I completely changed the song. Like, there's a whole nother version of that song. So, I had time to do that, which was nice, just to let it simmer, and be like, do I still like it? Do I still like that song? This song needs a tweak, that needs a tweak. And that's a beautiful thing about being the only guy doing it as well, because I can do whatever, you know what I mean? Like, that third guitar part on the sixth song, and I have it all documented. And he said, oh, okay, I go grab the guitar, plug it in, there it is, change the part. It's like the workflow now is better than it's ever been. I'm in a place, with technology. People are like, oh yeah, you can make a record by yourself because of the technology. It's like, well, no, I still fucking played I had to play and sing it, like nobody did that for me. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of work, but the workflow is such where you can do that. Like, I mean, back when we were making, there's no way I could have, you know what I mean? Like, after the first album, the debut album, it was what it was, and like we had to make sure we liked it. There's no going back. I mean, to get a guitar sound, it used to take a day. You know what I mean? Just to do that, you know. So, and drum sounds and everything, and now it's like fast, and that's the cool thing about the computers. It makes everything quicker, setup is quicker, recall is quicker, it's all digital, so it's blah, 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 blah. Not to get all technical on you guys, but I really am a nerd disguised as a rock star. Oh, nerd. I mean, you got to be to make a record by yourself. Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah, it's pretty nerdy. So anyway.
Right.
Go on then, Bruce.
Well, you've already spoken about some of this, Mitch. I mean, you were you were with Great White for 4 years from 2018. And I was just wondering what were the positives and negatives that you experienced during your tenure. I know that one of the positives we spoke about when I interviewed you last year was you expanding your own fan base
Yeah.
through all the touring you were doing. But
Yep.
must have been some other positive. Did they ever let you play any of your own songs when you were with them?
No, and I never asked them to.
I
I
thought,
never
oh,
asked them
not
to.
even
Oh,
anything
I
at
did.
all.
I had, well, because you appreciate my music. So for you, you would have liked to see, and honestly, it got more and more people were coming in, to see me. I'm not saying like instead of them, but it, the, I have not played out a lot in the States. I have not toured a lot in the States. So there's a ton of fans, or I should say a ton. There are fans of mine who have never seen me live. I would always joke, it's like, winning the lottery, seeing me live, right? It's because I don't play that much. So so they were able to come and at least hear me sing and watch me perform, and they didn't, and they would voice the fact that they would have liked to hear some of my music. That happened pretty often. But it just was, it was never, I never brought it up to them once. Never. I just,
Wow.
yeah. I mean, I know my fans did, but it didn't. And I don't blame, honestly, I don't think it would have made, I mean, it wouldn't have been a bad thing for us to play anything at all. Probably would have made some people happy. But but then some people would be like, what is this? You know what I mean? Like, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have any ill will towards them about that at all. I yeah, I, I never, I never anticipated that. I never anticipated them saying, "Hey, let's do some of your music."
Did you
No.
never write together as a band any new songs?
Yeah, I wrote with Mark. We wrote a little bit. He would send me some things, and I would finish them. He'd send me a guitar riff, and I'd turn it into a song like I did with Eddie. But nothing ever came of it. I would demo things up. I demoed some things up here. Where I would play everything and then send it back to him. He'd be like, "Whoa, you did that!" Like, yeah, me, myself, and I, my new band. Um, so yeah, I mean, so we did a couple of things, but for me, it was never anything like really special. For me, it was never like a rock me. It was never, whoa. You know what I mean? It was never like that. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Going back to your latest one, Mitch, how was it? Because you said you've done everything on this album, absolutely everything.
Yeah.
How difficult in some respects to do it, without a label behind you, or did you actually find it more freedom doing it that way?
Well, I was approached by a label to do it. So that was part of the inspiration to do the record. And then I decided not to go with that label in the
Okay.
end. Right. So I had that option. Right. So, there hasn't been, since I was on RCA BMG, which is now Sony, and they were definitely part of what I did. They definitely had a say in what, because I mean, they were paying for everything. But honestly, that first album, they left me alone. And I don't think anybody's really ever asked me that, to be honest. As a new artist, I think a label would be much more involved than they ever were for that first album for me. They were more involved in the second. Like they were fully involved in the second. Like they pushed me to go in that direction. That was their call, right? It was kind of like either that or bye. But the first album, they just let me go. They just funded it, and Arthur and I just did what we wanted. And I fully co-produced that record with him. I never got the credit for that, but I was there every day making calls, no, this guitar, not that guitar, this guitar, that amp, not that. I mean, just, like a producer would do or an engineer would do, he engineered it, the whole thing from start to finish. in a fantastic way. He's a much better engineer than I was. And I just watched and learned from him. He's brilliant, Arthur Payson, brilliant guy. And he was brilliant with guitars, with recording the guitar parts. And he was a guitar player. People don't know that about him, but he was a guitar player. And so he was very, very picky with all the guitar parts that went down. And I learned a lot from him off of that as well. But I was very much in there, like, no, this, that, blah, 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 blah. And I remember when we did the horns on Cowboy and the Ballerina, you know, the horn, pow, 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 you know, and I was like, no, 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 no. Like I ran out into the room and I was like going this, like I was like, no, it's got to be more like a part. Like they were so good, the Jerry Hay horns, but not like the best horn section in LA. And so it was all like, it was like perfect. You know, I'm like, no, this is not the Tonight Show. You know, this is like, I want this to sound like a rock and roll party. Think Rolling Stones. Like, I want this to be like, oh, you know, like really. So I had to go out there and I was like, come on. So, you know, that's something an artist does or a producer does. And I was very, very involved in that. So I've never been sort of like this with a label ever, except for, like I said, the Ceilings and Walls record was very much that the label's record, you know, like they kind of conducted the whole direction and everything. And for me, like I love Chris Neal still. I mean, I'm in touch with him till this day, the producer. But for me, that record was like, I mean, I like the record. I am proud of it, but I was like, wake me up when you need me.
Oh, dear.
I wasn't very involved in it.
Another thing I was very interested in is like you now own your own publishing company to control your own copyrights.
Yeah.
How important as an artist do you feel that is?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said for either, you know, because I've had two major publishing deals in my career, Warner Chappell and Chrysalis Music. So two major companies, and those were great. They're very lucrative back then, you know, back when publishers were actually giving artists a nice chunk of change to share in the, you know, in the ownership of your copyright. So, you know, that was cool too. And it's nice to have partners. It's nice to have big, strong partners as well, right? You know, it's good to have those people, but deals changed, right, through the years. There's way less money to be made in the music business, and it's kind of declined and declined and declined. And I know you guys know that and have heard it from all the artists. So to sign your copyright or your songwriting over at the stage that I'm at in my career, it doesn't make much sense because there's not enough there to make it make sense, right? They can't offer me enough for me to, I mean, that's just the nuts and bolts of it. That's just the truth. So yeah, so and it really is nice to own things and not have to split things up, and that gets confusing with bookkeeping and everything, and you know, it gets complicated. So yeah.
Another question I wanted to ask you, being an artist, again, doing everything yourself, releasing the album yourself in America, with the cargo over in Europe, but what's your attitude towards Spotify? Because personally, I feel Spotify is totally killing the music scene and is having a negative effect on sales. I know, speaking to you before, you said that Spotify helped you gain new fans, which I appreciate. That's also a good way to hear new music. But people are basically just listening to albums on Spotify and not buying them.
Yes.
So I just wondered how you felt yourself as an artist trying to promote your new album, what you thought of Spotify, and do you feel it's adversely affected you, or do you think it's a positive thing for you?
Well, you know, they're not calling me, inviting me to parties.
Well,
So,
that's that shit.
yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't really, you know what I mean? Like, it's not really in my world, you know? Like I would agree with you. I wish things were more back how they used to be, and I wish that there was a way for us to take some stuff back. It's
Yeah.
like, hang on a second, this isn't really fair. Like, we've given too much now. Like, we've gone over the line. We're way over the line towards giving. We need to be given, right? So
Yep.
that needs to come back to us I think, for the music business to survive. You know, it's changed so much. It's amazing that, I mean, there are still some careers, but it seems like there are less and less and less careers, right?
Oh, you got a career if you're a major superstar. The way I look at it is,
Yeah.
you guys coming out, you'll get 0.0004 cents for a
Yeah.
stream.
Even
go
then,
back,
yeah.
you go back 30 years ago, you go into a bar, you go to a jukebox, you're paying 50 cents, 20 cents to listen to one song.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
Spotify was paying artists 20 cents a stream, even 10 cents a stream,
Yeah,
you
something.
you could live off, yeah, something. You could live off that.
Please, something. Yeah, no,
It would be nice.
no, I agree. It's not, it seems like it's like a lot of things in our world, it's very corrupt. Yeah. Like,
Oh, God, very
it,
corrupt.
yeah, it's just very corrupt, and it's not fair, and that's not sustainable.
Yeah.
You
The
know,
guy who owns Spotify is living in a mansion. He's a billionaire on the backs of artists. What's fair
exactly,
about that? Yeah.
exactly. Like I said, I think the pendulum has to swing back our way, or it's just going to completely kill it. And it's sort of killing it now. I mean, look at the new music.
Oh, that's not.
Yeah, please, no. I mean, it's like, is there anything coming out that's even redeemable? I mean, a couple of things. Yeah, there's a couple of, new bands maybe that are hearkening back to classic rock, write their own songs and sing and play, and but there's so few. It's, yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
not a good topic.
Another question I wanted to ask you, and this is more of a personal question from my perspective. Do you remember the first time we met, Mitch? Probably not. 30 years ago in your house in Nashville.
Oh
I was on
God, of
holiday.
course.
I came down to see you.
Not that many people came to my house.
Yeah. And
Of
I
course,
was
I
shocked.
remember that.
I was shocked when I met you because your hair was so short. And I was
Oh,
like,
was it short? Yeah.
oh, it's short. It was short. And
Right.
I was like, wow. And then it didn't take you long because I was talking to you about Now and Then Records at the time and maybe trying to do a record deal or something. And when I saw you with the short hair, I was like, wow, it didn't take you that long to grow your hair after that. But
No.
I always wondered, how important do you think image is? Well, it's very important, I guess, but how do you view your image as how important to your music?
I think, and always have. I come from that. Like Steven Tyler was always one of my heroes, and guys like that who looked a certain way, and to me that represented the music. That, to me, the way he looked and still looks is very much part of who he is and his art. And so that made a real impact on me. And all my heroes were like that, and the Freddie Mercury and Zeppelin, and all of them had a certain way about them, and they looked the part, right? And so when that all changed as well, it was like, all these guys look like they're dentists. They don't look like musicians. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? And that hasn't really changed much. Like, once that happened, it got established, then that kind of, the normal looking people became like the rock stars. And I'm like, what's going on? So for me, yeah, people are like, oh my God, the hair, the hair, the hair, the hair. I'm like, yeah, the hair, yeah, yeah, the hair, the hair, the hair. Yeah,
So,
the hair.
hey,
Yeah.
cool.
Right. Do us a favour, Mitch, hold up the new album again.
What's that?
Hold up the new album again.
Hold it up.
Yeah, so people can see it. So then we're going to go cut to another music song now from Mitch's new album. This is a wonderful song called Using This Song.
can't say. What I can't say. When words won't come, I'll find a way. I'm using this song to tell you just how much I love you, babe. Using the song to show you just how much I care. 'Cause there is something about a melody, a feeling that means more to me. I hope you share. I'm using this song to tell you all the things I think of you. Using the song 'cause I can't put it into words. 'Cause there are just no words that can describe the feeling that I feel inside. For you, my girl, I'm using the song. Using the song. I'm using the song 'cause words cannot describe the feeling that I feel inside. For you, my girl. Music speaks. To everyone, but this song it's just for you. I'm using the song to tell you just how much I love you, babe. Using this song to show you just how much I care. 'Cause there is something about a melody, a feeling that means more to me. I hope you share. I'm using this song to show you all the things I think of you. Using the song 'cause I can't put it into words. 'Cause there are just no words that can describe the feeling that I feel inside. For you, my girl, I'm using the song. Using the song. I'm using the song 'cause words cannot describe the feeling that I feel inside. For you, my girl, I'm using the song. Using the song. I'm using the song. I'm using the song.
Right, so that was Mitch's track using this song off the new album. And as well as a CD, I believe that you've got a very special LP for this one as well, a lovely white coloured one.
Yeah, and I haven't had this for only but a few days.
Oh, look at that bad boy.
My
Looks
first
like a
ever,
picture too.
my first ever. Yeah, it looks just like me. It's like the good-looking version of me. Yeah, so this is my first ever vinyl. And so this is my first time ever showing it on camera, actually. This is the first time I've ever put it in an interview.
An exclusive.
Yeah, so you guys are the firsties. And look at that.
Oh,
Look at that,
look
would
at
you?
that
Oh,
beauty.
that's nice.
That's lovely.
Isn't it cool?
Wow.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I mean, you know, to grow up on vinyl and then to never have it and then to have
Yeah.
it all of a sudden, you know,
That's nice.
at this stage in my career, to like, it's so funny because when Sing Records approached me, they're like, "Have you considered vinyl?" And I'm like, "No, I have not considered vinyl." And they're like, "How about if we could make you an offer you can't refuse?" And I said, "Try me." And so they did, and I bit. I'm like, "Okay, I'll do it." And that pushed everything back. Let me set this down. So we did a bundle. So they had this idea. So they said, okay, so the way, because vinyl costs so much for us to do, we have to charge a lot. And so for us to charge a lot, we have to make it worth the fans' money, right? So they gave me this list of things that they wanted to do, like potential, you know, pick a couple, and I picked them all. Well, that's how I am, you guys, you know, I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever. Let's just do them all. And they were like, really? I'm like, yeah, why not?
All
So
right.
so you get the vinyl, obviously. You get the poster. Woo! Cool.
Hey.
It's pretty badass. And you get a signed picture. And you get a pick. And then you get things that I can't show you because they're so exclusive. Even I don't have them.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah, so I did video acoustic live video versions of some of the songs that come with just the bundle, and we're going to do a live concert. We're doing a golden ticket, so we're giving away out of the records sold. Once it's all sold out, which is soon, if anybody wants one, you better go. I think there's 8 left, maybe less as of today, as of yesterday that was. So today, who knows? So if you want a bundle, go get it at mitchmalloy.com. The link to Sing Records is at mitchmalloy.com, or you can just go to Sing, either one. But yeah, so you get a live concert. So there's something called a golden ticket. So people who are chosen for the golden ticket get a private live Zoom concert with me, an acoustic concert where they can ask me, they can interview me during the concert. I'll talk to them like I'm talking to you guys, and then I'll play a song, and then I'll talk and play a song, and you know. So we're gonna do that. And what else? There's something else I'm missing, but pretty cool bundle, right? I mean, it's you get a lot for your money, you know.
Can you just tell us how much the bundle is so people know? Because I'm actually going to go on after this show and order it for myself.
Oh, bless you. I think it's 89. I
And that's
think.
dollars. This is not too bad, actually.
Yeah, I think it's 89. So you get, but
Okay.
you get, you know, you get a free concert, you get a poster, you get the vinyl. Oh, and you get a signed CD as well.
Yeah. Didn't you mention a t-shirt? Is there a t-shirt or?
I don't remember. I don't know if there's a t-shirt. I don't know. Honestly, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But you can see when you go there, there's a big
When you go
list.
there, I'll show you. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's all listed, and yeah, so it's a good value if you're a fan of mine. If you're not, it's all total crap, and you're not even listening to this. You've turned this off by now. So yeah.
so speaking of you, I mean, that is an amazing prize to actually sort of sit down with 10 fans and do sort of a very intimate concert. I mean, how important, obviously, is interaction with your fans to you?
The interaction has always been like a primary thing for me. It's funny because when you're on a major label like RCA, it was funny. One day the label presented me with fan mail, like that I didn't know about. And I was like, and it was like a box, like a box. full of, like I was like, what in the world is this? And they were like, that's just the good ones. So there was like twice that amount. And so that was my first year of being on a major label and doing this and having a record out and so on and so forth. I think it was even 6 months in or something like that. And I immediately it felt strange to me that I was that far away from my fans. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I had fans I didn't know about, which was weird, first of all. And then for them to be writing to me like all this intimate stuff and amazing letters and stuff like that I didn't know about. And then I'm reading it and I'm like, oh my God. So that was weird to me. And I kind of didn't like it. Like I wanted them to be closer to me, but there was no internet then. So there was no way for them to be closer to me. So that was back in that time where you were just so distant from your fans. And that was a thing, like, because, you have to be this guy up on this pedestal and you have to be, like that. And I'm like, whatever. Right. So that was how I entered kind of the business. And then everything changed with the internet. And then when I realized I was able to interact with my fans directly, I was like, perfect. So that part of the internet, I love it. I mean, I'm like, I'll be like on my phone and my wife will be like, what are you doing? And I'm like talking to the world, you know what I mean? Because it's like, because I'm accessible, I don't reply. It's funny because I say I only reply to sane people. I thank people for being sane. Thank you for being sane. Thank you for not being crazy. Because there's some crazy ones out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, I think you already knew the answer to that, but, because I think anybody who knows me knows that about me, that I am extremely interactive. In fact, Facebook recently sent me a message saying, congratulations, you have entered the top 1 percentile in engagement and growth on Facebook. I was like, what? Because I don't have a huge platform. I have like, about 20,000, I'm like approaching like 20,000, which is not huge for an artist. I mean, artists have millions, So I was shocked because I still consider myself a small, a small artist. So to have that that was a proud moment for me to have as small of a following as I have, but they don't see it like that. They see it as you're in the top of our company in engagement and growth. And I'm like, yeah. So I brag about that a lot. That's like my Grammy.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
That's my Grammy award.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Picking up on something that Bruce asked you earlier on, what's your take on the rock scene in the United States at the moment, and how difficult it is as an artist in the USA to remain in the public eye, especially, because you've had a career now since the early 1980s.
Well, yeah, I don't know if I go back.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought I had a career then, but nobody else did. I was huge in my own mind. Yeah, but I think that it's challenging. It's all that stuff. It's, I mean, like I just cited what the advantage of the internet is for me, but at the same time, it's like Bruce said with Spotify and everything, it's just hard to monetize things. It's hard for us to make a living off of it. You kind of have to go out there and just do shows, do tons of shows, to be able to sell merchandise. I sold a lot of these, at the Great White shows. They were kind enough to allow me to do that.
That's good.
I was very appreciative of, and I actually sold out of those because of that. I had to order more, which I did. I just did, and you can get them on mitchmalloy.com. So it's tough. I mean, I think that the fans are great. The fans understand that it's tough, and the fans try to be supportive, I think. I mean, I have amazing fans. I mean, I wish I had 1 million of them, But the ones that I do have, I just like quality people and nice people, and you know what I mean? Like, that's why I interact with them. Like I joke with them and stuff. It's like they're cool people. So there are great aspects of it and there are really negative aspects of it. It's very difficult and I wish it was easier, but it is what it is.
Yeah. One thing we haven't talked about is the Van Halen experience. I remember speaking to you last year and you were talking about you had a DVD, which hasn't come out yet, I don't think. But what's the situation with the Van Halen experience? And are you still doing that? And is that DVD ever going to come out?
Those are really good questions, all of them. I'm not sure, to be honest. It kind of depends upon what happens probably in the next few months. But yes, the whole show, we did one show, right? And that show was really like an Ed celebration. It was a year of Ed's passing. So we did it as close as we could to that, and it was almost to the day. And it was a celebration of his life and his music. And, that was really the whole reason to do that. And like kind of a giving back to Ed kind of thing. And plus, I wanted to see what that would have been like as well. So it was a little bit selfish on my part. It was a way for me to get to feel like what it would be like to be in Van Halen, even though it wasn't. And I mean, that's another thing too. It's like I sang with Van Halen in 5150, right? So that was an experience that almost blew my head off. Like I wasn't even touching the ground when it was going on. Like it was just amazing. Like the energy in the studio, it was amazing. It's still with me, that experience. So to have that experience, so then to play Van Halen with anybody else, it's not Van Halen really now, is it? No, it's not. So I was very careful to pick what I thought was the best guys to do that job, sort of thinking like a producer, like when you produce a record, you think that guy, drummer for this artist, that bass player, that guitar player, as a producer, you have to kind of put people together like that for the record that you're making. So that's kind of how I approached it. Who are the best Van Halens out there, other than Van Halen's, right? And I felt like I did that pretty well. The band was explosive and absolutely fantastic. And the first notes that we played together, those guys just met. Like I had never met Pete. Pete had never met any of us. Dan had never met any of us. Yeah, I mean, Wayne had never met any. I had known Wayne for years, from my producer days in Nashville, because he's a top session guy there. But that was it. I didn't know anybody else. I mean, I'd met Dan briefly on the cruise, in the hallway kind of thing, years prior. But yeah, I was really happy with how that band sounded. And it was, I thought, as close as I was going to get to actually Van Halen. And so we thought about, we should probably, it was so much fun, we should probably keep doing this. And, I made the production, the videos that are out on YouTube, and I did all that. And that was a blast. And it was a great representation of the night and all that. And to continue it was a challenge, though, because of everybody's schedules. Everybody's kind of going, and it was so lucky to land those guys. And I only landed them because of the pandemic, really, because they weren't busy, because I had reached out to some of them before and it was like, I couldn't never get them, to do other things. Right. So, I felt like I kind of hit the lottery at getting that band, and then to get them again is really a challenge. And that is why it hasn't happened again. And I could do it with other people, but I just wasn't sure if I wanted to, and I'm still not sure if I want to. So it's a very, very long answer. I'm sorry, but
That's okay. But don't you think there's a gap, well, a huge gap in the market now, because obviously Van Halen aren't playing. People want to hear these songs.
People want to hear it, and you know, there's a lot of proof of that, Bruce, because and I found this out. The most tributed band is Van Halen.
Wow.
At least in the States, the
Yeah.
most tribute bands out of any band is Van Halen.
Wow.
And there are a shitload of them. So that's another thing. So I'm competing against all these bands that are out there in the clubs doing this. And I'm not sure I wanted to compete with that. Like I never wanted to compete with that. I just wanted to do Van Halen on a large scale and I did it, you know. So
Is it competing? Because at least you were legitimately in the band for all of
yeah,
10
yeah,
minutes, but at least
yeah.
you
At least Ed told me, yes, congratulations, you're in the band. Yeah, nobody else has that,
yeah,
obviously. But you know, I'm not sure that people really care. You know, I
they
mean,
should.
some people care, but maybe not enough people really care. I mean,
Hmm.
people like to go to their club and see that band doing Van Halen, that's doing Van Halen. And you know, I'm not sure that there's, you know, I don't know. I don't
No,
want to.
I get you. It's
Yeah,
better being your own person and being known for your own music. Yeah,
yeah. So yeah, that's why I shifted gears into let me make my own record and go back
yeah.
to doing
Okay,
that. And
good
yeah,
answer.
yeah.
Okay, okay, Pete.
Right, Mitch, I want to talk to you about Starburst Candy. Now,
Do you want me to do the commercial?
now, for people that don't know what I'm on about, obviously people
I
live
can.
in anywhere else but the USA. Mitch is actually the voiceover artist for a fair few adverts, I believe, and one of them is Starburst Candy. I mean, how did you get into this? You know, and you know, how's it going, basically?
Introducing new Starburst California fruit chews. 4 new mouth-watering flavors, including what was it? What was it? I forget now. Something. Strawberry, watermelon, and Malibu punch. It'll give your mouth a splash of California. I'll take 20 grand. Thank you very much.
It's in the post.
Yeah. It's nice mailbox money. Yeah, so that was actually, it's funny that you would ask that question because people don't know that. People don't know that. And that happened back, I had just signed to RCA, I think. And maybe I had made the record. I hadn't made the record yet. I think I hadn't made the record yet. And the label called and they said, they're looking for a rock singer for Starburst. And they called us and asked us if we had anybody. And we thought, well, yeah, we have Mitch Malloy. So they called me. And so they said, go to this place, New York City, blah, 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 this time, da, 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 da. So this is a funny story. So I show up in this, you know, I go to this building, I go up to the 9th floor, whatever, and I walk down the hall, I go in this room, and there's a guy sitting there that, you know, he's just sitting there waiting. So I'm like, okay. So I sit down in a chair and I'm waiting. Someone comes out. It's almost like a doctor's office kind of vibe, right? So I'm like in the waiting room kind of thing. So then somebody comes out and goes, oh, hello, and hands me a piece of paper with, you know, like a paragraph on it. And I'm like, I didn't know what was going on. Like, I thought I was there to sing because they needed a rock singer. That's all that was told to me. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, I wonder if I'm going to sing this. Okay, I guess I'm going to sing this. I don't know. So then when it's my turn, I go in there and the guy looks at me and I'm like, so am I singing? So there's a woman, an old woman, like it's a little studio, right? So there's a woman behind the glass, you know, gray-haired woman behind the glass with an engineer. So she was the producer. And then there's another guy who brought me the copy, they called it, right? So I look up at him and I go, because like they didn't give me any music, nothing. Like all I had was a piece of paper with words on it. So I go, so am I singing? And he goes, he looks at me and he goes, you never done this before. And I'm like, nope, that's accurate. And he goes, no, you're not singing, you're speaking. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm thinking, is that better? Maybe not. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I was just confused. So, I put the headphones on, there's a microphone, and I'm thinking, I don't know what, I had no idea what I'm doing. Zero. So for me to go from that to getting it, like what the, right? So some music comes on, start it up with your future. Like I still remember the music and everything. And then the guy stops singing, and I'm like, so she stops and she looks up and she goes, have you ever done this before? And I'm like, no, I have no idea what you want me to do even. I thought I was here to sing. And she's like, oh, okay, great. She's thinking, oh, great. They didn't tell him anything. So she goes, okay, so you heard that music? I said, yeah. She goes, okay, so when the singing stops, then I want you to say what's on the paper. I'm like, oh, okay, I got it. So boom, boom, and it goes, and I'm like, and I read it, and I did it too slow, I guess. So she stops and she goes, you never done this before? I'm like, no. She goes, that was really good. I'm like, really? She goes, yeah, you just needed to pick it up the pace a little because there's not enough time. You need to do it, it needs to be quick. And I'm like, okay. So I did it again. And again, she goes, that was really good. Okay. So now you need to do this, blah, 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 blah. And I adjusted a couple things, and then I was done. And I was done in like 5 minutes or something. I was done. And she goes, okay, that was really good. You'll hear from us or you won't, kind of thing. And that night, the label called me and they go, you might have gotten that. I'm like, what? What are the odds, to go into a situation where you have no clue what you're doing and then to actually get the job? It was just weird. So that was just one of those lucked out kind of things. And then I got it. And so then I had to go back to a bigger, nicer studio with producers and, the Starburst people were there and do it again. And I did it, and that was it. And boom, I got it, and I made a fortune.
Wow.
Money, like I made over 20 grand off of that commercial.
Perfect.
Wow.
Insane. And then, so I kept going and auditioning. I did a Snickers, I did Bud Light, but I didn't get any of them. So you say, how's it going? It's not going well.
Oh, dear.
Oh,
Yeah, I did one commercial, and I've done a couple of other things. Like I did producing though for some other things. There's some things in my resume. I produced some commercials and stuff like that. I've done all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I'm available. Voiceovers.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, Mitch, but we're running a competition on our website at the moment to win. Well, I'm told by Bruce it's the last sealed copy of Live from Rock City 2009.
Can I enter the competition?
Of course you can. All you have to do is click on the website and follow the rules. Would you be so kind as to, obviously tell the audience why they should be entering this competition, and how they can do it? Obviously, to go onto our website. But if you could, in your own inimitable style, if you could say, why should they enter this competition?
I have no earthly idea. I mean, that DVD is, it's funny because I occasionally will see a song or something off of it on YouTube and be like, oh my God, it was such a great, and I think I even sent something to like somebody who I'm working with now, saying, check this out. And they were like, holy shit, when was that? Because it was such a great night, and that festival was just special, really special. And I think everybody that went to it knew that. Everybody that helped put it on knew that. Everybody involved knew that. All the bands knew that. Everybody felt really lucky to be invited as a band. I know I did. I think I did it twice, 3 times.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah. And it felt like 3 times. It was so awesome. So, yeah. So, I mean, for them to be able to own that, there's one left. Oh,
I found it just last month.
The his-
I hadn't seen it for 12 years, and I found this sealed copy. I'm like, wow.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's history, man. That was a great show, and they did a great job putting that together. I did the mix for it, and I didn't do any of the editing. The video edit is fantastic, and yeah, I was really happy with it, and still am. Every time I see a bit of it, I'm like, yes.
What made you decide to do Stone in Love as the final encore?
I wanted to trick the audience. I don't know.
Aha.
It was just a little like, this would be fun, because I
calling you
always,
up.
because I always loved that song. Always. That's one of my favorite Journey songs. And it dawned on me that the riff was so close to anything at all. It's almost the same riff. It's very close. So, I mean, it's, so you can get away with bouncing, to do a mashup or whatever you call it. And so it was just kind of a fun idea. And I think the crowd, I mean, you hear this, the crowd come in when I go into anything at all. like, he tricked us.
Those crazy nights I do remember in my youth. I do recall those were the best times, most of all. In the year when the blue jean girl, burning love comes once in a lifetime. She got me singing by the railroad track, took me home, we danced by the moonlight. The summer nights are calling, stoned in love. Can't help myself, I'm falling, stoned in love. put your mind at ease. 'Cause I'm ready and I'll be there to give you anything, yeah. I give you anything, baby. I give you my heart and soul, yeah, baby. I do anything at all, yeah, everything at all. I give you anything at all to have you here in my arms where you belong. You gotta believe it. I do anything at all. I give you anything at all to have you here in my arms where you belong. You gotta believe it. I do anything at all. Come on. Yeah! See you next year!
So all you have to do, people, as I say, is go onto fireworks-magazine.com, scroll a bit down the home screen, and there is the competition. It's a very simple question. It's basically is off the first album that Mitch ever did. What was the hit single from that? And then, so they all you do is enter the competition, and we will be pulling out one lucky winner to win this one final sealed copy of Live from Rock City. And like Mitch said, it's probably one of the best live gigs I think we've seen, isn't it, Bruce?
Yeah, and I can't believe somebody entered that competition and got the answer wrong.
Oh, really? Somebody got the answer wrong?
Yeah, they put the cuckoo on the ballerina. I'm like, come on.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
That's okay though. You know what I mean? At least they entered. They entered. I mean, you know,
yeah.
I appreciate any participation at this point. Yeah, so that's really cool. So maybe with the winner, we can get them to do something like they can do a post or on Facebook, or they can do a little video of them getting it or something. We can do something. Yeah.
yeah. They're waiting at the post letterbox and it falls to the letterbox and they grab it. Because I'm
Yeah.
still traveling across the country to give it to somebody by hand. But if they get it, they can do a little video. Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we can
Just
put it on our website, on your website, whatever.
yeah. You know, why not? Let's you know.
Yeah, make it some fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a brilliant idea. Great,
Yeah.
Mitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So
Fun.
I think that's basically our time now. I mean, it's been an absolute pleasure, Mitch, as I knew it would be. One final time, let's just have a look at that wonderful LP and CD of the last song. Just hold it up for us again, Mitch.
Oh, let me hold up the big one.
The big-
Boom.
oh, just put it back. There we go. There we go. So there you go, people. You've got to go onto mitchmalloy.com. Like I said, there's a bundle there. There's the LP there. There's the CD, the US sales, and the cargo one for the rest of the international market. Buy it, like Mitch said. You know, let's get the support again going for live for rock music, because it's a scene that needs to be built up again. And when you got someone like Mitch releasing these wonderful albums, you know, we've got to support the artist. So let's do it. Right. I'm Pete Arnett. I've been your host today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Bruce, thank you very much for joining us for this one.
Yeah, thanks, Pete. And very quickly, Mitch, any plans to come over and play live?
Oh, yeah.
There is nothing booked. There's
Right.
nothing finalized. There's nothing. There have been a lot of people inquiring, fans
just
and
happened.
otherwise. Yeah, there have been some promoters even inquiring.
Mhm.
So it's gone beyond just fans going, when am I going to get to see you? But that's
Yep.
always nice to have the fans, chime in at that. So I have a feeling it's going to happen.
Right.
It's not booked, but I have a feeling. I mean, I see a lot of my
Yeah.
contemporaries are going over and playing. So
Yeah. I remember seeing you playing in Spain. I mean, do you have quite a good following in Spain?
yeah, it seemed too, because every time that I came to the UK, I went to Spain.
Yeah.
Yeah, every
Well,
time. Yeah,
thinking some ideas here. Okay, great.
yeah, every time I go to Spain and also Sweden. I forget the name of the station now, but there's a rock station in Sweden that has one of a kind in heavy rotation.
Wow. Good to know.
So yeah, so I'm getting exposure all over Europe with the new record, which has been really nice. Cargo has done a wonderful job. Thanks, John and Brigitte. Yeah, so both of them have done great for me over there. I noticed I'm getting more European fans on my socials, so they're doing a good job spreading the word over there, which you would think would lead to me going over there and playing. And I have spoken to Cargo about that as well.
Right.
So keep asking.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Yeah. We need to get
Okay.
more interest in this.
Right.
This will help. You guys will help for sure.
Perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Right. Like I say, we are going to close this show now with another track off Mitch's new album. This one has got quite a bit of a story about it. It's the first track, I'm Living in Paradise. And that's because exactly that's where you live, isn't it, Mitch? Paradise.
Yeah, I'm tan, see? I was just in the sun. Yeah, man, it's where I live is amazing. I live on the Gulf Coast of Florida, and for me, it's one of the best spots in the world. So it's nice to be able to say that. Like, I actually moved to what I thought was one of the best spots I'd ever been to, right? So not a lot of people get to do that in their life, and I'm very fortunate to be experiencing that right now. It's really great.
So I don't think many people can ever say they actually live in paradise and mean it.
Exactly.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Mitch. It's been an absolute pleasure, and all the best with the new album. And we really do hope it's a massive success for you.
Thanks, fellas. It's great to see you, Bruce, again. And Peter, it's nice to meet you.
I'm going to see you in fireworks next issue. Okay. Yeah.
Famous.
Okay.
Here we go.
I'm living on sunshine
Yeah. You've been living on lonely.
All views heard in this podcast are from the individual and do not necessarily represent those of Fireworks Rock and Metal Magazine.